Welcome back to your live continuing coverage of NAB 2016 on BeTerrific, presented by Data Video. I'm Michael Artis, and you're the Terrifics. Thanks so much for joining us. I have a very special guest here. I mean, this is a guest you guys clamor for, you wait for, and he's a really great guy. We did the FAA convention together. We interviewed him then. You'll remember him from that. And, of course, we conversed several times over the year. Jon Resnick from DJI, thank you so much for joining us. You set policy for DJI, or you work on policy.
Right.
You help make them safer. You help make sure that we fly safer. And you help lobby on our behalf to make sure that there aren't too many regulations.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to moderate a panel that you sat on at the FAA convention, which was a lot of fun. And the first thing I said in that was I have to commend DJI because you guys have, from the very beginning, only worked to make them safer and make it so that the people who buy them have the tools to learn before they just go out and fly. And I can't say enough good things about it. And you've only done, this is the new one.
Right.
We're going to get to it in a minute, but it's the new Phantom. But even this, and we'll get to the features, has taken it leaps and bounds to make it safer for everybody. I was in a place called Unique Photo in New Jersey renting some gear the other day, and this woman had just bought a Phantom 3. It was her third Phantom 3, and her husband bought her the Phantom 4. She couldn't wait. And it just come in. So I just want
to hear that.
Before I start, I wanted to commend you guys on what you do to make sure that it's safe, to make sure to advocate for us drone pilots, and to also better what we're doing as cinematographers and as toys. Sometimes people buy them as toys too. They're a lot of fun, that's for sure.
Absolutely a lot of fun. And I mean, for us, in some ways, that we kind of see it as a no-brainer, and that safety and good business kind of go together. And this industry is only going to be able to thrive and grow as much as we also promote proper, responsible, and safe operations. And people are really buying into that, actually. If you think about the number of people out there flying today and the millions of flight hours people have been accumulating, the actual number of incidents or troubling things that come up are actually really small. Right. So it seems like a lot of messaging is getting out there and a lot of technology is getting out there.
You've got the geofencing and all sorts of other technology, and I think the key is that people just have to be smart about it. Don't fly it into somebody. I mean, that's like the simplest thing.
And that's true of anything.
Right. Don't drive your car into somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're right. You guys have a ton of products. I want to say that Dave, our friend, who works with us a lot, couldn't make it to NAB here. Dave Kleinstein, a great guy. You met him, and he works with us all the time. He's great. He also flies as an Inspire on Orange is the New Black. So anytime you see a drone shot, it's his Inspire on Orange is the New Black. In addition to that, they're using it instead of a crane now for a lot of shots.
A lot of people are using that for just that, and in fact, a lot of the time it's almost steadier than a crane. It's pretty
unbelievable
remarkable
how steady it is. I couldn't believe it. He had one day 30-mile-an-hour winds, and it was rock steady.
And the nice thing about that is also, logistically, it's a lot easier moving an Inspire onto a set than
of course.
Renting a crane, bringing that out, crew, setup.
For that shot, they used it as the watchtower, as a point of view watchtower camera. Instead of getting the huge crane out, the techno crane, and doing all this, they literally just, Dave, can you fly that to 200 feet? Okay, boom.
And frankly, if you're talking about a manned crane, and a lot of them are manned, it's safer too.
And he used your software, fly to 200 feet and hold, and that's it.
And it'll stay there rock solid.
I'm sure he sat there with the sticks pretending like he was doing something. Got to make them think I'm really worth the money.
I'll tell you, we're seeing people do, still photographers now are really buying into it as well, because it's you're able to do long exposures. So like these night shots and dusk shots where 4-second exposures, 7-second exposures, and they are just rock steady, rock solid.
Very cool. Let's talk about the Phantom 4 real quick.
Sure.
And then because you have so many products, I want to kind of get to them all. You guys are really doing amazing things. So this is the Phantom 4, and I want you to tell me about a lot of the features, but before we get to that, I want to talk about the feature I think is the most impressive and the most important, and that is that it has sensors built in so that it can avoid objects. And I think that's so important, and we're talking not only about people, which you're going to try and control it away from people, and you shouldn't fly it in busy areas, we know all that. Light poles, trees. That also helps when you lose control or the battery starts to run out and it goes on the find home feature, return home feature. before you would hope that it would not fly into a tree. Now it can avoid the tree.
Well, it can to that extent. And we do always suggest when you go out flying, you always want to make an assessment of the highest object.
Sure.
And one of the things you can do is preset what your come home altitude should be. So if the highest tree is 50 feet, set your come home altitude at 75 feet, and
Right.
you're going to have a good buffer. But still, other things can get in the way. And as we know, sense and avoid is very, it's a hot topic in our industry for a lot of different reasons. This is the first consumer drone with sense and avoid technology, and you had shown the bottom stuff. This is actually our visual positioning system. That's what allows, if you're in an indoor GPS environment, not GPS denied environment, it's going to look at the floor and hold its position by reading patterns in the floor or ground. Now the sense and avoid are these two sensors right up front here. And while they look small, they're actually pretty powerful. Because they're dual sensors, it can essentially, for all intents and purposes, shoot stereoscopically. So our flight controller is essentially able to create much more of a 3D image map of the space that it's looking at, and can make fairly well-informed decisions about whether or not to run into something or to actually just go around it as well.
I saw a video that somebody posted online that they tested it, and it was very good. I was very impressed. And then they turned it off and flew it right into a pole. And I was like, why? We know you can fly it into a pole if you don't have that on. And it was amazing to see, not that somebody flew it into a pole, it was amazing to see that they avoided the pole the first time when it was on. I was very impressed. And they avoided, by the way, you probably saw this video, they avoided a fence, which I thought, oh, it's never going to pick up the fence. It picked up the fence. It was a backstop for a baseball field.
Yeah, and that kind of chain link fencing we have gotten much better on. You know, we started working on sense and avoid more than a year ago. We had our system is called Guidance, and that was much more intended for the developer market. But that gave us a ton of experience about being able to put together a system that could work within the consumer market. Now, keep in mind, right now these are just forward sensing.
Sure.
All right, so you could back up into something.
Right, absolutely.
But like I said, this is the first iteration, really, of this in the consumer market, not the last. So we're very excited about the potential of where this can go and what it means for autonomous flight and a lot of different elements.
I'm excited as well. I can't wait. Also, you have rotors that are a lot easier to put on and take off now.
Yeah, real easy. Quick release. It's just pop and turn. Wow. And we always try to help out folks. You notice the black dots here, match the black ring. You always want to match those when
I like that. We got to make it simple and easy to use. What are some of the other features? The camera has gotten better. You have stabilization still with the gimbal.
With the camera, we've improved the lens resolution. Essentially, minimize the distortion even more by 56%.
Wow.
Now, well, keep in mind, our distortion was pretty low anyway. So
that's what I'm saying. That's impressive.
Yeah, 56% is helpful. We're shooting 4K video. 12 megapixel stills. Obviously, the stabilization systems that everyone's come to know and love are built in as well. This also has a system called Active Track. And, we've had a lot of people ask us about being able to follow elements. And previously, it had always been, in order to do something like that, you really had to have some kind of receiver, a GPS dongle or something like that. With Active Track now, you're able to just outline a person or object using your finger on the app, and the sensors now identify that.
Wow.
And so they're not following a dongle, they're following an actual image that they've created in the computer brain.
Awesome.
And it will follow, but also integrate the sense and avoid technology, so it won't let you follow it into a tree or follow it into a pole.
And that's the most important part, because there have been other companies that have said, hey, we've got this kind of feature, or they use a dongle, and I've always said, yeah, what happens when a tree gets in the way, and now your drone's done.
I mean, honestly, that's one of the reasons why we took a while bringing this to market. We've had a lot of discussions in-house just about that idea that, we just see so many people videos of people following me right into a building or a
Right.
tree. Because, and to be fair, a lot of the people involved in those kind of action sports and stuff like that, they're not doing the constant calculus of
course.
where am I and where is my drone and what's in
and
between
you
us.
You can't, or you'd hit the tree
Right.
on your snowboard,
Exactly.
right? It wouldn't work. All right, so this is phenomenal. I'm really excited about it. I think you've also gotten the video transmission a little bit further in distance. Is that true?
Well, we're advertising 5 kilometers
Yeah.
on our light bridge system.
That's a little further.
That, honestly, first we always recommend flying within line of sight.
I love
that. And but we've certainly seen folks be able to achieve greater distances using the light bridge.
What do you think of this drone racing stuff? You guys got to be behind it. It's phenomenal, isn't it?
I love it. I just last month finished building my first racing drone.
Are you gonna
a
do it?
Speed X250. I don't know, man.
Those guys are good.
I went to some drone races back home in Washington D.C. last week, and there was some exceptionally talented pilots there. There was a lot of carnage going on, though. It's definitely a blood sport. I think people would like it.
If you do it, if you get going, we'd love to shoot some video of it and talk to you about it, because that's something I think is going to be amazing and is very interesting, and these guys are unbelievable.
Well, and people are just getting into it now. I think the key is the real key for it to take off is when they're able to convert that analog video, the FPV video, into an actual HD signal. Right now, in terms of weight ratio to racers, transmitters aren't quite there to be able to provide that latency.
I say 2 years.
I bet less than that.
Really?
Come on, look at our technology. Things just happen so quickly.
All right, 6 months.
All right, I'll go with that.
You guys have a new product out. It's a new drone. It's a big drone. It's not.
Yeah.
This isn't for the faint of heart. This is going to carry the Ronin. The Ronin is the gimbal that you guys have that you can put a camera on and walk around. That eliminates maybe the need for a steady cam. Allows you to get these really great shots, tracking shots. That's your big version of basically the gimbal that's on here, if you want to just talk about it in a high level context.
Well, it's our M600, and you're right. It's both a heavy lift platform, but it's also incorporating a new flight controller, our A3 flight controller, which has redundancies built into it. It has redundancy built in for IMU, compass, barometers, all those things that are going to help ensure high quality flight and high fidelity data acquisition as well. So this is a platform that, you're right, is designed for kind of a higher end user, especially if you're using the A3 Pro. When you start getting into areas of construction survey and some mapping, you need to have really low level GPS fidelity. And now with the A3 Pro, you can get down to the centimeter level from your aerial imaging. It has also enhanced flight times as well. It depends on what camera platform or sensor platform you're going to use on it. If you're just using our X5 camera, which is one of our newest cameras, you can get over 30 minutes of flight time with it. When you go with the full Ronin MX, and it's not the old Ronin.
Sure.
This is a new Ronin. It's called the MX.
A lot lighter.
Lighter, specifically designed to integrate onto the platform. You can combine that with a Red. And I was talking to the engineers today. They said they were getting 15-minute flight times with that.
Wow.
And our price point starts out at around $5,800, I think.
Not bad at all. And how is it? As far as learning how to fly it, would you say it's as easy as the Inspire, or is it even harder than that?
It would be about Inspire level, I would say. It has retractable gear.
Sure.
So that brings in another out, just like the Inspire.
Sure.
I think that, in terms of learning to fly, one of the things about drones is it scales up really well. Your control movements are the same, whether you're looking at a little micro or my Phantom, an Inspire, or an M600. You want to rotate right or rotate left, you do it the exact same way using the exact same controller. So I think a lot of the time learning is about, it's obviously about learning, but also building up confidence.
And it's interesting because that's what I was talking about somebody earlier in the day. They said, they saw this glider and it's going to be amazing. I said, you got to really know how to fly a glider. I know about RC planes and all that stuff and helicopters, and a glider, it catches wind differently. You're going to have to know how to fly.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing about drones, especially like the Phantom or the Inspire, is that you can easily learn how to do this and then get better and work to get better. And you can start with a Phantom and move your way up, or you can stay with a Phantom.
Yep.
And that's cool.
Well, certainly the Phantom is a very capable platform
Yeah.
for a lot of people who have
Absolutely.
applications out there, and it has a lot of safety features in it to also help you become comfortable flying.
Which
when
is
you
why
first take it on.
I love it. And what about the Osmo? The Osmo is a handheld version of the gimbal. It works with, you have two different versions now. You just came out or announced the newest version works with the X5.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? With Osmo, everyone loved our gimbal so much, and we were actually seeing real estate agents who were walking through houses using their drone because of the steadiness of the shot. And we had that light bulb moment. Why don't we put this gimbal into people's hands? It started with the X3 camera, which is on the Inspire, and like you said, we can now do it with the X5 and the X5 Pro, which the X5 cameras are really good. They're using a micro Four Thirds processor. The Pro version will shoot RAW video, which
Wow.
if you're in the production business, you know that
It's-
gives you a ton of flexibility.
Right. It's amazing. That's what Dave is flying on his Inspire, and so he's able to take it off of his Inspire and put it right onto the Osmo, the new Osmo.
Exactly. Well, there's a new bracket that
Right,
I'll get
but-
for it,
right.
but exactly. And so it gives you a lot of flexibility in your production. If you like this X5 camera, it gives you a lot more places you can use it than necessarily
I got to
just in
tell
the
you,
air.
this is all honesty. People, you already know. I mean, I'm just an honest guy. I've been very impressed with the images I've seen off of the X5.
We've been working for more than 2 years now. That's been creating really good cameras has been a priority for us.
But not that creating a drone is an easy thing, but that was your business. And going and saying we're going to create cameras now, not easy. And this isn't something you went to Sony and said, hey, we'll slap our name on something, build this.
No.
This is something you guys have built, and that's why I'm impressed by it.
Well, and we are using some sensors.
Well, I'm sure, yeah.
To that extent also, but we also recognize that we don't necessarily have all the answers. That's why we got into a partnership with Hasselblad, who is a very highly regarded photography.
Never heard of them. No, I'm they're unbelievable, by the way. But I love that you also offer the flexibility. Fine, you want to use something else? Use something else. Go for it. Here, we'll offer you the ability to do it.
Certainly on that M600 package, you, depending on the gimbal camera combination you want to use, there's a variety of different cameras you could use.
Imagine that 8K red we could put on there.
It looks pretty good.
It does look pretty good. John, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
It's
always
good to see you.
It's always a pleasure, my friend.
All right. Thank you. We'll have to have you on again soon. We'll keep up with what you're doing with drone racing. I know you're not going to get into it, but I'd like to see you playing with it.
It is fun. It is way fun. Wicked fun.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Jon Resnick from DJI. Check out more at DJI's website. I believe is it DJIUSA.com?
Just DJI.com.
Just DJI.com. Look at that. We'll be back with a whole lot more. Your live continuing coverage of NAB 2016 on BeTerrific, presented by Data Video, right after this. Stay with us.